My name is Deb Zeller, and I created this. It's made of bronze, and if any of you know anything about history and art, then you know that this sculpture could be still sitting here 2,000 years from now. So I feel very honored to have been asked to create something with that much potential. And to me, potential is the real theme here today as we celebrate 100 years of Land O'Lakes.
Well, the very first decision that I remember was I just couldn't imagine the grandpa grasping the little girl's hand. What I envisioned was the little girl hanging on to the grandpa's little finger. She's tugging on his little finger. Look at what that can be. How is this gonna work? How's that gonna work? And she's pointing to the things she envisions, the things that this farm can become. Her little imagination is going 90 miles an hour. It's like, hey grandpa, look, hey grandpa. She's pointing to the future and he's grounded in the past, what came before, all the work that went into building the farm, improving the farm.
In farming, we say we manage things so the next generation can thrive. I see Rooted in Tomorrow telling that story. The little girl is leading her farming legacy as embodied by her dad and grandfather into the future. She's pointing the way forward. And doing so, she's encouraged by the strength and character and effort of those who came before.
Planning a sculpture takes a lot of planning. If the whole thing were made out of clay, a sculpture this size would probably weigh over 1,000 pounds. I wouldn't be able to move it around in my studio. I don't know how you would transport it to the foundry, and it would fall apart under its own weight. It would collapse. So inside of the sculpture is an armature. Once the general size and form was done, then the fun part begins, and that is playing with the clay. Put some clay on, add some detail. Oops, it's a little too big over here, we'll take a little off. Oops, it needs a little more over here, we'll add more clay here. Off and on, off and on. It takes months to get the kind of detail that we have in a sculpture like this.
It's all about the possibilities and promise. It's about the courage of the older generations to hand over farming to the next, and the courage of the younger generation to lead their farms into the future. And I can tell you, having grown up on a dairy farm and helping to milk cows, farming is never certain. Having potential means everything. In creating this work titled Rooted in Tomorrow, I was inspired by my father, Grant, and his father, Axel Knudsen, on our family 120-acre farm near Barbara Lake, south of Hutchinson, Minnesota. My grandpa and dad sold their milk to Land O'Lakes. The farm is still in our family, and it is now run by my brothers, Kenton, who came today, Kurt, and Hans.
For me, it's the greatest gift to be able to immortalize my dad, the man who challenged me all my life. There was something about sculpting the man who helped me become who I am that was very satisfying. So this journey took 10 months. And for me, that's the fastest I have ever done a bronze sculpture. For me, a year is the typical duration it takes, the iterations, the foundry time, the finishing time. But we had a 100-year anniversary.
I hope Land O'Lakes employees and members and guests are reminded of farming's potential every time they pass by this sculpture. I hope it encourages them to work together and to create even more potential for those now starting to farm and for us who depend on farming to sustain us.
When that synergy works, when the creativity continues, when the visions continue, when people rally together to implement these visions, that's when you get longevity. People believe in each other. They build each other up. As a whole, they are more than any single person, any single farmer could ever be. It creates a magic that doesn't exist as an individual. And when people learn that working together, challenging each other, growing with each other creates way more than an individual could do, that's when co-ops work.
Thank you so much for this opportunity.